In all these years that I've been making these videos, which is about 12 years now, I think, 13 years, one thing I've noticed is that the vast majority of people cannot speak about themselves. And the reason why they can't speak about themselves is, other than the trivial, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and we've all had friends like that. As soon as you see them, they launch into a spiel about me, 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 me. But it's all superficial, it's all rubbish, all nonsense, and there's nothing of any substance. But if you stop them and you ask them, what do you feel about that? What do you really think about this? Do you feel as if you know anything about that? And all of a sudden they're stumbled. Because these questions, they never pose to themselves. So what I've recognised about you, the viewer, over all these years, like it said in one of these videos are priceless because they're all speaking about me, of course. And very seldom would I ever get any acknowledgement of how I'm helping you, how I'm being how I'm helping you to think. Instrumental, how I'm being instrumental into helping you think more about what it is that's going on here. When have I ever received a comment, thanks for that video, Aaron? As a person, me, Aaron, the awakened brave, the one, thanks for that. That touched me to my core. What you said here, what you said there, what you gave me. Wow, really appreciate that. How often have I received that? Can't even remember one occasion, to be fair. And so I look at the human being and I'm very, very indifferent about them. And like it said on 9 signs that you're the one, we feel as if we're not from here. I'm not from here. This is a vastly lower conscious echelon that I come from. I come from a realm which is vastly more higher and conscious. This is the Kali Yuga. This is the lowest of the low. And because I'm the one, I am a chosen one, then I'm here. I evidently chose to come here to try to raise the dead, because chosen ones are very benevolent and they are kind and they want the best for people. And this is why I always end up back here, don't I? I'm pissed off, I'm sick of the teeth of the human vermin. I really am. But like it said on that last video, every now and again you come upon another one. And that makes it all worthwhile. And so you could say that we are cosmic miners. We're looking for the gems of the cosmos. We're looking for the scattered ones. We're looking for the Jewish Kabbalistic sparks among the Homo sapiens. There's very, very few. And I've said it, haven't I? I've said it, I've said it, and I've said it. And of course there's much more to say. There's much deeper to go. And I'm going to be going deeper and deeper and deeper until you grasp me, understand me, comprehend me less and less and less. You barely get what the fuck I'm talking about now. There's a handful that are cognizant amongst you. The rest, like I've always said, don't know what you're doing here. But it's not for me to judge, because many of you have said, when I've took my channel down, Oh, your videos meant a lot to me. You don't know how much they mean to us. Well, why don't you fucking say it when my videos are up then? I don't ever recognise you. What handle did you use? You never made a comment while the channel was up. You know, what is it that prevents people? What is it that makes them so insecure? What is it that makes you so afraid? What is it that keeps you so stunned? Now, when I look on YouTube, all I see, the vast majority of the time, is people speaking about other people. People speaking about other people's thoughts. Because very, very few people in this dimension think for themselves and have some interesting thoughts. And so there's a billion other copycats, and that's all that's out there. Where's the man that's thinking for himself, that's speaking from his heart? He's here. This is the only one. The artist, formerly known as the Awakened Brave, the one. And so I can't find anybody else like me. People that go through this life and they observe something and then they speak about what they've intuited from it, what they've thought about it, what they've felt about it, what this life experience means to them. Are you hearing me, people? What the fuck does it mean to you? Does it mean anything? Have you got anything to say about the meaning of life? I've never fucking heard it. Never heard it. And so, you're not chosen ones. I can't be chastising you. I can't be chastising the fool, can I? That wouldn't do. When I go back to my higher realm, I'll probably have a chastising myself. Oh, awakened one, why were you chastising those fools down there? You went there to pull them out their own mire. And yet, you gave them a helping hand, but then you just let go of their hands from time to time. And so they fell back into the mire. Bubble, 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 bubble. In the shit and the pus of their own creation. Until in the end they go, oh, fucking hell, roll up my sleeve, stick my hand in the cesspool and grab a lump of hair and pull it out. Give them life again. That's all it's been, people. That's all it's been for this past 13, 14, 15 years. And, you know, I've spent the past 12 years on YouTube. And I've been looking for the ones. And I've come upon a few semblances of ones. I've never come upon a one. I've never come upon another chosen one. I've come upon a few that maybe ultimately one day in another life will be chosen ones. But what does this video say? 9 signs. That, you know, we're teachers, we're here to help, to raise up man. And what have I been doing all these years? That's all I've been doing. I gave up my vocation, I gave up all the riches that I had. I gave everything up to be a fisher of men. Do any of you see that? Do any of you see beyond the depths of your own cognitive restraints? I wonder. None of you will say anything profound about any of the videos. Never. There's a couple of you which do write to me, in emails mostly, and tell me of their cognitive growth, experiences on their path. But even those, they don't want to share it with the minions. They don't want to defile themselves. It's like Mr. Nobody. He doesn't want anything to do with the minions. He doesn't want to be casting pearls to swine. He didn't come here to do that. I evidently did. And so it's my bag. And so I'll keep chomping on the bit that I've bridled myself with. And I can make video after video after video like this, and still there'll be no comments. It'll be nothing. Talking to the dead. Talking to the dead. And so one of the viewers put a comment down on one of the videos last night, trying to inspire people into engaging a little bit. Not a single comment. Nothing. His comment flatlined. He fucking flatlined. Which of course that's what it's going to do. Out amongst the dead. And so you people watching these videos, what are you feeling? What are you thinking? What are your thoughts? For God's sakes. What are your thoughts? Anyway, my book will be published next week. And there isn't any hope for 99% of you getting through it. It really isn't. A book of 700 pages. As thick as a brick. What hope have you got? Ask yourselves, what hope do you have? Fortunately, because there's so many sub-chapters, you can browse through it like an encyclopedia, because that's basically what it is. It's a spiritual encyclopedia for the awoken soul. So you can browse through 300 subheadings and you can read a few pages on a couple of those. I suppose that option is available to most of you. And if you take a marker pen and you underscore the heading that you've read, then you'll remember. And so you won't keep going back and reading the same thing over and over and over again like Groundhog Day, because your mind doesn't have the capacity to retain information. And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, some of you know that. But I think because we are so fucking rare, the vast majority of people watching this video, they don't know that. They've got no idea that there are different levels of consciousness. And they are in a very low one indeed. There's levels of consciousness which will blow your socks off. And one of the things that is very prevalent and pretty well known these days is kind of like the most ignorant of people are the ones that think they are the cleverest. It's one of these peculiar paradoxes of the human being. When they know next to fucking nothing, they're little know-it-all cunts. We've all met them, haven't we? And how many? I was listening to a video this afternoon someone sent me. And the question was, do you really think that if we labour and labour and labour, we can actually wake up these sleeping fools? And the answer was no. 99% of the time. But you can plant seeds. And then if they meet other awoken ones and they plant a seed, then I suppose it's a numbers game, depending on how many seeds are planted. But then if they have a massive traumatic experience, then that might catapult them into a higher state of consciousness. But people who haven't had those very, very deep, painful, traumatic experiences, you're still fast asleep. And you shy away from pain at any cost. The slightest bit of pain, you shy away from it. Even if something tastes bitter, or like a vitamin tablet, you can't just have them in their raw sauce. You got to chew on the little gummy. That tastes nice and lemony, and it's like orange. And that's the only way you can do this shit. It's fucking incredible. But just to leave you with one final thought. The world is changing very, very rapidly. And there are certain powers on this planet who have an absolute, complete and utter design to enslave the masses to the point whereby they even want to put chips in their brains. And they're going to get away with it. Because human consciousness en masse isn't about to wake up any day soon. We have to pass through this Kali Yuga into a higher realm of the cosmos. And that apparently isn't coming about even to begin for another 150 years. So everybody on this planet and everyone's children are still going to remain fast asleep. It won't be until 200, 300, 400, 500 years, 1,000 years, when people are going to be waking up in the new paradigm and changing things, and then expelling the I don't even say evil overlords, because I don't consider them to be evil. I just consider them to be doing what's fair fucking game. They are chosen ones of some magnitude, some shape or form, description. They are higher on the intellectual scale. They're probably psychopathic because they don't have any empathy. That's very apparent. But why should they? I mean, farmers don't have empathy for cows or sheep or pigs or goats, chickens. Why should vastly higher intelligences have empathy for creatures that they don't even think are conscious? Because they're not. The vast majority of the masses are unconscious. They are in a state of somnambulism. They are sleepwalking through the whole of their lives. Why would anyone have compassion for those? It's irrational. So they don't do it. And I don't blame them for it. I'm very much a naturalist, and whatever will be, will be. Whatever pervasive powers are in any given paradigm, then that's how the laws are going to be generated, from those powers. And so for a long time, thousands of years, we can see that there's been higher elevated conscious beings that have just looked at the idiots and gone, well, we need someone to pack our chickens, we need someone to sweep our roads, we need someone to empty our bins, we need someone to make our chairs, to make our tables. Oh, we need all these people to make all these things, to make our lives here on this planet beautiful and comfortable. And so that's what they've done. And now, some of you will realise I sit in my throne. I've sat in my throne for this past 14 years, never worked a stroke. And I'm just like, thanks, fools, all the fools out there, all the sleeping masses, for creating everything that I require and just giving it to me. It just comes to me. Because that's my wage. I'm here doing a job, raising up the fool, and so then I have everything I want. I have a beautiful, still mind and heart. I don't have any concerns, worries, fears, anxieties, loneliness. I don't have any of those things, people. They're just not my bag. And so I just talk to the camera. Because I'm not speaking to human beings, am I? You know, very, very seldom. Look at the comments under the videos. It's the same old, isn't it? What do you think about that? Are you like... You're like so, frustrated. Is there really a human being in there? Is there really a self in there that wants to come out and manifest? But you just can't because it's so afraid of the whole thing that's all around them. And they've been so suppressed and contained and browbeaten all of their lives that they can't do anything else. You see, in my book I speak about many, many things. And for those of you that actually do, pick it up and try to read it, it will be a form of enlightenment for you. Every single page, that information in that book is coming from a higher level of consciousness, people. It's coming from a fully fledged, awoken, enlightened cosmic being, from a vastly higher state of consciousness in another cosmic realm somewhere. And I've come like Jesus, like the Buddha, like all of those people, to write some stuff down. Only, this time around, I'm taking advantage of the technology and I'm speaking it, you see? But if I was around several hundred years ago, a few thousand years ago, I'd have to be doing the old ink quill, wouldn't I? Fucking laboriously doing that, writing on parchment and this, that and the other, to try to reach some of the full. But now I just sit in the comfort of my own home, speaking. That's all I do. And press a few buttons and hey presto, it's gone all over the world. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that incredible? And albeit we have that facility, and there is a mass of information out there, still the human race is still sleeping. And I'm like, how the fuck does that work? You've got stuff out there, the potential to wake up the whole of the globe. But they don't have the software. The software isn't there. There has been firewalls in place. Firewalls have been in place, positioned within the masses from a very young age. And I was listening to somebody today who was speaking about, he was reading the Bible when he was 6 years old. And things like that. And he says he's an old soul and this, that and the other. And he looks at the world and he goes, I'm not from here. I can't be from here. And for many, many years, I've known I'm not from here. And so there's many, many wonderful things about this earth. This earth is beautiful. It really is stunning. It's the gem, it's the jewel in the cosmos. I feel very intuitive about that for sure. There's many, many places that don't live up to what we've got going on here. And yet the masses are destroying it without any level of appreciation at all. And if you ask them, what do you feel? They don't feel anything. What do you see? I see the sky, the sun, trees, that's it. They're not seeing nothing. They've just got words in their minds. And, that's it. I've walked with many of them. They see nothing, they feel nothing. They're not living. Are you living? I've asked asked you before, are you living? And tell me how you're living. You can't do it, can you? That's where it ends. So therefore you can't be living. Because if you were living, if you were a chosen one, then you'd be doing what I'm doing. This would be your thing. And we'd be holding conversations all the time. But that isn't the case, is it? You're just voyeuring. You're just looking. Terrified you are of the world. Just looking at other people. How do they live their lives? But nothing's even registering. You don't equate anything, you don't compare anything. One of these conversations I was listening to, these two guys were talking, and one of them used to hold seminars, things like that, to awaken people. And he said it was incredible, because he could have these people sitting in front of him, and they'd be clapping, and they'd be woo-woo, and all this sort of stuff. But the next day, he'd see these people, and they'd be wearing their masks. And so nothing lasted any longer than a few seconds when they was in receipt of the information. They never had the confidence to carry that forward out into the big world. They succumbed to being little old me again, subservient me again, putting a mask on and complying with everybody else because they're terrified of anyone saying to them, you put your mask on, you baby killer, you grandma killer, or whatever. All that stuff, you know. Crazy, crazy, crazy bizarre. Anyway, I've got wonderful videos to watch. The odd person that puts it out there, that recognises people like me, that talks about people like me. I like that. That's cool, that is. That's very refreshing. Bye.